Hi, this is Daniela Wolf with Bestie Life, the podcast, and this is your community to support you through the little and not so little events that make up your day-to-day life. From the I've got this moments to the I just can't moments. We are here to empower all women to find and develop the skills they need to find peace, balance, and the bliss in their busy. Through solo episodes as well as interviews with amazing women who share their journey and their story and how it works for you. I hope you find the inspirations to make you laugh, think, as well as maybe rethink what you thought you knew, and connect as we realize that we are all living similar ups and downs and don't have to do it alone. So excited for you to hear this episode, and thanks so much for joining me today. Hi, this is Daniela with Bestie Life, the podcast, and today I'm so excited for you to meet Unique Figueroa. She calls herself Becoming Unique because she finally decided to walk in the shoes of her authentic self. She states that this comes from her self-care practice and her self-love practice, and she even wrote a book called Your Guide to Acts of Self-Care Throughout Your Day and Self-Love, which I'm so excited for her to share more about, but I can't wait for you to meet Unique. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
So I know that was kind of a brief overview of all the amazing things you do. So can you share a little bit more about your background, your journey, and what brought you to where you are today?
Well, my name is Unique, and I like to call myself Becoming Unique, I guess, on all of my social platforms. And I like to call myself Becoming Unique because in 2019, Michelle Obama wrote a book called Becoming. Mm-hmm. and when she was like on her like tour of like talking about the book, I believe it was with Oprah Winfrey, she said, I don't like when teachers or parents say to kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm paraphrasing what she said. And then as if growing up is a final destination. Growing up is not a final destination. We are constantly evolving. And I was like, wow, that really hit me right there. It was like, we are constantly becoming, because I may have put a stake in the ground when I got to motherhood saying this is what life is. This is what life is. And I, just a few years ago, I did not have any hopes or dreams for myself. I thought my job in this world was to just be here for my children. Mm-hmm. And yes, that was part of my job, but I also came here to be myself as well, too. Yeah. So I was like, wow, that is so true. Like, I don't have to just stop here just because I'm a mother now. Now, let me keep it moving. And so, and I was already slowly on the journey unknowingly at that time. But when she said that, I was like, yes, it's so true. And I was like, you know what? As I'm evolving, I want to share this with the world, because I'm not the only person out there. I'm not the only 40 plus woman that was out here just doing everything for her kids and her family and not having a definition for herself. Mm-hmm. It was like, I truly defined myself as my children's mother, where in my Instagram bio, it said mother of 2 young girls, mother of 2 future ladies. Mm-hmm. That was my bio. And my whole page was pictures of my kids or videos of my kids. There was nothing about me. You couldn't find anything about me. And I created this narrative so much so where people would see me, they'd be like, hey, Unique, what's the kids up to? It was never, what are you up to? What's happening, Unique? Oh, I heard you're doing this now. It was never any of that. Now the conversation is going in that direction. But I had to realize I created this narrative of, I was only my children's mother or my husband's wife. I was something to everyone else, but I was nothing to myself.
No, I'd never heard that, even though I did read the book Becoming as well. But I love that analogy, because I do think we put this endpoint of what are you going to be versus, I'm 50 something years old and we're still growing. I'm still evolving and becoming a better person, becoming who I'm meant to be, and all those things. I'd heard it years ago also talked about as far as the and. I think as moms and as women, sometimes, you just said I was either a mom or a wife, but why can't we be and a mom and an author and a wife and a speaker and all these other things? And that I found very freeing as well.
Yes. I love that. And I never thought about it like that as well too. But yes, it's so true. Like, I'm a mother and I'm an author and I'm a podcaster and and I'm and so we can add on to it. There's no final destination to this. It keeps going.
Right. And I think too, you talk about as a mom, we think that is our being everything for them is our job, as opposed to showing them everything that's possible.
Exactly. Yes. And I took notice to that as well too, because also with making them the center of attention, a
Mm-hmm.
blessing and a curse.
Oh yeah, because they get
Yeah,
used to that real fast.
yeah. Oh my goodness. So yeah, a blessing and a curse because now what I made this like just like I said, I made the narrative of them being the center of attention. I also made the narrative of me almost being their servant.
Mm-hmm.
To an
Right.
extent. So yeah, and so now that I'm evolving and doing things, now they can see me in a different light.
Absolutely. And what an amazing role model you are for them, with all the
Yes.
things you're doing and becoming and all of that. So, how
Mhm.
did you start to make space for yourself? Because I think sometimes that's the hardest part is, where do we start? How do we create that space to begin to grow and become something?
It wasn't done necessarily. I didn't just wake up one day saying, today is the day, I'm changing my life. It's a new year, new me. It didn't happen like that. And I was very scared to make space. My older daughter was in high school and she was getting close to college. And basically I didn't have like a trade. Like I was just a stay-at-home mom. And I was kind of thinking like, oh, like this motherhood thing is kind of coming to a close soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me start thinking about the future. And then I'm in New York City and I saw that they had like these continued adult education classes, which were for free.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't even think I was worthy of like taking money to go and invest in like a course of something. So
Mm-hmm.
when I saw that it was free, I was like, oh, I could take advantage of these free courses. I don't want to burden the family with taking money for me to try to figure out what I'm going to do next in life.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went to go take this course, it was on something, it was like medical billing, something I really had no interest, but I was just taking the course because it was for free. And then, but it was, even though I got absolutely nothing out of that course, I got so much out of it because just by me doing that, it allowed me to understand that I was able to make time and space for me. And that's what I didn't know before. I didn't know how to have my own time and space.
Yeah.
Even if I was going to do something for myself, even if I was going to go to Starbucks, if my kids call me or my husband, I need you here right now. I would be like, okay, I'll drop my Starbucks and say, I can't go to Starbucks now. I have to go do what you want me to do for you. So now that I had a class on these particular days at this particular time, now this was my space. So if anyone did need me, they couldn't have me because now I created this time and space for myself.
Right.
So I didn't purposely know I needed to do this, but by taking this course, and I realized, wait a minute, I'm making time and space for me, and it's okay. The house didn't burn
I was going to
down.
say, the world didn't fall apart without you for a
It
couple
didn't
of
fall
hours a
apart.
week.
Yes. And so then it was so that course was over in like 6 months. And then it allowed me to take the next course, which was a night course, which I saw that course at the beginning was a culinary arts course. And I was just like, no, I could never. I have to be in the house in the evening. So I ended up taking it. I was like, you know what? I'll figure it. They'll just figure it out. And I took the course. And then now with me doing that, it's, sometimes we're doing things and we don't realize the jewels behind it. And that's when I started to realize the jewels. And then I started to do more things for myself and started to realize it's okay to make time and space for me.
Right. And I love that message, because I think that's the first place to start. We always think of what we want to do as opposed to that how of just starting to create that space, even if it isn't following your passion or doing the big thing. It's just starting and making that space happen, that then you can follow your passion, which through self-care and self-love. How did you start integrating that in, or what does that look like for you?
Yeah, so I didn't even know that self-care and self-love was not a conversation for me just a few years ago. I didn't even understand I was missing it until I started to incorporate it within my life. And a part of me evolving, with taking these free classes, and then I joined the gym, and within the gym they had an amazing yoga program, and within yoga, it's a lot of mindfulness and then these breathing techniques, it's not like you're just coming in for this 45-minute class, you do some jumping jacks and leave. It was, yoga is just way deeper. So
Mm-hmm.
it started to open the door for me, and it started to settle my nervous system as well too. Not
Yeah.
saying I was crazy or anything, but it yoga is very calming for your system, and it's allowing you to think in a mindfulness type of way.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you and made an announcement at the very beginning, I have a book called Your Guide to Bringing More Acts of Self-Care. Everything in this book has basically been what I have slowly incorporated throughout the past couple of years. Things that I didn't realize were missing, just and it's just simple acts. It's simple acts, things like affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
I did not even understand the value of an affirmation, and just understanding the value of understanding the power of I am,
Mm-hmm.
because I am is truly two of the smallest but most powerful words in the English language, because what follows after it defines you. So I am easy, like I am a klutz. Like like sometimes we're doing all this talk with ourselves. Oh, I'm so always so late. I'm always so unorganized. Sometimes we're beating ourselves with this I am all the time. But now we shifting it back and saying, wait a minute, let me take power in these words and change it to I am enough, just as I
Mm-hmm.
am. Oh, I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am, but changing it into a positive tone. So just being mindful of that, because I didn't realize that self-talk was just running rapid, and
Yeah.
then understanding that power of those affirmations. And if we stop and really think about, what are we saying to ourselves? We're running late for something, and then now we're beating ourselves up about it. I am this, I am that, I am this, or the kids yell at us, oh, or whatever the case is, they have an attitude. Now we're not thinking we're not a good enough mother because of their reaction. Or then it's like all of this talk, but understanding that no, 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 no. We're going to bring it
Mm-hmm.
back to some positive affirmations, because that is self-care for you. You don't have to beat yourself up with that negative talk that we may, as humans,
Mm-hmm.
do to ourselves
Oh,
sometimes.
absolutely. I think we're unfortunately programmed to lead towards the negative. And I do love that power of the possibility in that statement you said. Just I am. The
Yeah.
possibility in that is goes as far as your imagination. It really is limitless because it's not confined to where you currently are. It's in a
Mm-hmm.
time and a space from the future that you can become, and it doesn't have to look a certain way or be a certain way. It has so many options open to it. So I think that's such a great place to start, because it's only, limited by your own thoughts and your own potential.
Yes. Yeah. And so, with also just going back to the I am, like, just a few years ago, I would have never thought I was capable of like putting a book together, or being an author or anything like that. Because I even have a page in the front, the very first page of the book, I kind of do an introduction of myself. And I say, I was the kid that was left back in second grade. I was the kid that went to speech therapy. I was the kid,
Mm-hmm.
I was the kid that was a C student and worked very hard to be a C student. So I was a struggling kid. So I already had this running narrative in my mind that school is not my thing. I'm not necessarily good enough. I may not have been like voicing that out to everyone every day, but it was a running thought in my mind because of the fact that how my educational life looked.
Right.
So what? So oh no, that's not an author can't be those things. Like how could I be an author? I was the kid that was left back in second grade. Like how could I do that?
Mm-hmm.
So having the power of the I am and just really changing that, like that power is just so important. And that chapter is at the very beginning of the book, because I talk about just having that mindfulness and holding grace for yourself. Like all of those things like are just so important within our self-care for ourselves.
Right. And I like the way too you tie it back to, we're not necessarily defined by who we were at one point. That doesn't mean just because you weren't a strong academic student. I would say I probably wasn't a strong athlete younger, but I turned into an athlete in different ways as I got older, running, skiing, doing all sorts of biking and different things. And so just because it wasn't who I was doesn't mean I don't have that potential to be. And it doesn't have to be with ribbons and medals and teams and those kind of things. I think to be able to define ourselves as who we choose to be.
Exactly. That's perfectly said, summed up.
So an area of self-care that I always like to highlight, because I think it gets kind of overlooked sometimes, is gratitude. I think having gratitude in our day-to-day life is a big way to focus on self-care. And so I wanted to see, what are some of the things that you would say you're the most grateful for?
Every piece of life, literally.
Yeah.
I swear, it's just like on autopilot. I swear every morning when I wake up, I thank God for me opening my eyes. I
Mm-hmm.
really truly see gratitude in the smallest things. And I'm literally, just as I'm saying, we're having like all of like this, like we may not be saying it out loud with like
Yeah.
talking to ourselves. I'm literally saying it like if the train comes early, woo, look at, oh, I'm so grateful I'm on time. Well, I'm so grateful that even when something bad happens, I find gratitude in that. Oh, it must have been something that wasn't meant for me.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
That's a great way to look at it.
yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I truly believe when we're doing everything, this is just for me personally. I truly believe if I'm walking a path with integrity and honesty, that however life turns out, I'm going to be grateful for it because I know that I was putting, integrity behind what I was doing. That I
Mm-hmm.
would, if we're out here trying to scam and do things, then sometimes things may not go a certain way. Then, but I'm a true believer. I'm like, I'm out here and I'm moving with integrity. So sometimes if there's a hiccup on something, I find gratitude in it because I'm like, oh, it wasn't meant to be. It
Right.
wasn't.
And I wrote down a quote from when we talked before we started recording, that you had shared with me that I love. And you said, start the walk and the way will appear. And I think you definitely practice that quote in so many ways.
Yes, exactly. I truly I truly do. And yeah. It's just, and I keep seeing it every day. And the way, and with starting the walk, of course, it's all about these vision boards and this is the way we want it to happen. And yes, we definitely should start imagining the way we want it to happen, but also be open to detours.
Yeah.
Be up to the detour, because then sometimes you may be planning this way and then traffic directs you that way and it's for your own good.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it's even better.
Yeah, we don't know everything, but I think to be able to allow the journey to take us where we need to be, as
Yes.
opposed to where we always think we want to be, is so important in that part as well.
Yes, that's why I truly believe to be open to staying open.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of be like, no, I can't go that way. I'm gonna have to wait till the traffic clears so I can just go this way. So
Yeah.
just be open to seeing what else is out there as well too.
So where can people find your book, find you online, find ways to work with you?
The book is available on Amazon on
Mm-hmm.
all platforms. So if
Okay.
you're in Canada, if you're in Europe, the book is available. It's called Your Guide to Bringing More Acts of Self-Care. It's a small but mighty book. And when I say it's a small book, it's just under 100 pages. So, but it's small but mighty because it's meant to take you over 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's broken down into 12 chapters, and each chapter is meant to take you over throughout the week. So it's a focus for that week.
That's
So like
awesome.
I do.
And the
Thanks.
link for that will definitely be in the show note, as well
Yes.
as you're on Instagram, right?
Yes, I am active on Instagram. So the book is what's happening right now. And I
Mm-hmm.
also paired it with I have a journal available on Amazon as well too, which I just released like a month ago, because within the book I do ask you to get a journal. I say get a journal to pair. I say you can write in the book because I do have like spots for questions. I mean answers in your questions. But I'm like, get the journal in case you want to just keep writing and you have more space to expand on it and not feel constricted to these 4 lines and say, oh, well, I'm done with writing. So there is a journal to go with it as well too if you're
Mm-hmm.
out there looking at the book. I also, it's like I'm infusing so much self-care. I also have affirmation teas.
Mm-hmm.
So I have herbal teas, which is on my website only. And the herbal teas, my herbal teas are not about like, is this the one that give me the skinny stomach or lose weight? That's not what the teas are about. The teas are about you making time and space for you. And they're all named after affirmations. So like,
Oh, great.
I am love, I am calming. So I am the key. So just for example, so I am love. You can, the tea comes in a tea bag or it comes as loose leaf tea. But this is a time, because you know how every morning is like, people have like their coffee time or their tea time and they sit down for a
Mm-hmm.
moment and they're drinking tea. But while you're drinking tea, this is a moment for you to be like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I am love. I am enough. Like you're saying the affirmations. You're infusing all this beautiful energy within yourself, because so when we walk out the door, when we're walking out the door in this higher vibration.
Right. And it starts the practice for you. I love that. And I love the journal idea, because you're right. Even as you talk about your becoming, doing it once, you're not done. You might do this book 1 year, and then the next year you might journal something completely different. You might be on a path to becoming something else. So that's such a great way to just grow with it and kind of keep making that part of your practice as well. So thank you so much, Unique, for all that you're putting out there and sharing with everybody. It's fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And I'm so glad you were able to come on the show today. So I will definitely talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks so much again for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let me know any questions or comments that you have. Also, if you can please leave an Apple 5-star review so that this episode can be shared with more women. There's 2 quotes that I love. Alone we may be strong, but together we are stronger, as well as when women support each other, incredible things happen. So let's be stronger and incredible together, as well as maybe just have some fun along the way. Thanks so much, and talk to you soon. Bye.